Hello. Hi to everyone. It's Sunday, and this is something we want to do, but we was not really sure how to do it. So we find a way to talk each other, and it will be just a conversation. It's nothing so important. We are not famous people. We are just DJs and label managers from small music that not everyone knows. We are not doctors, we are not politicians, we don't have a clue for nothing, and we are just two friends talking, okay? So please don't be so hard with us. And first of all, I want to apologize for every fucking mistake I make on English because I'm Spanish. So we are so proud of our language and we don't learn Spanish so good. So I'm going to try to do my best. And first of all, I think the most polite way to do it is to present my friend Lyle. Let's talk about Lyle. Lyle is someone is on my life for more than a decade. I begin with my project XGen, and he was there, like pushing me, like, "Wow, what the fucking music you do is super nice," and blah blah blah. Since then, I follow him, and he have a label, a super nice label. His name is MMD, and he's let's say, well, now it's the resistance of the South African night full on, or name it as you want. I don't fucking care, but it's super nice music, and he's the fucking one is keeping the light on. For sure, there is more people. I'm not saying there is no more people or blah blah blah, but he's the one. He's blasting all the time. I have some people from South Africa in my Facebook, and all the times I see a party, there is him on the lineup on morning time, on night time, playing this, playing that, with this name, with that name. So, welcome, Lyle.
Wow, geez, what an introduction. Thanks, Manu. Yeah, well, I mean, geez, feelings mutual. I mean, as you well eloquently said, we've go back a decade plus. I pretty much remember when you guys came in doing that collab with Christoph High in Chicago, and from there, you obviously took a lot more of the reins in the management side. But doing that, you still were balancing the live project that you had with Herman for XGen. So it was you guys along with Smashed that pretty much, in my opinion, brought about the second generation of what is 3D vision. And I mean, man, you've been pumping the blood through the veins of the label ever since. So I mean, it's crazy that after so many years that this is actually like the first time we've actually like had a full-fledged conversation face to face. But you know, that's what coronavirus has done. In a weird way, it's brought us all together closer in ways. So I'm stoked. This is great. Thanks for pulling the idea out. I'm happy to be a part
No,
of it.
come on. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we can make that. It's we never meet in person. I never was in South Africa. I get some chances to go. I never go. I was so stupid maybe to didn't go because then this will be easy now if I play it there or something and we never meet. So this it have a plus difficult because we are friends. We have a I don't know. We have contact, and we always help each other doing stuff for our music. I always have this idea about you. It's like when something is related with our music, you are one of the guys I have to call, I have to ask, I have to do. Like you are always helping me on this part of the music. I don't know. Maybe because we are not so much, and the ones we are working because we love that. And man, people can feel it, can see it. You are a fucking metalhead. You have thousands of metal t-shirts and how? Come on, look at you. But then you have a heart pumping side trance all time, full day. Man, come on. I hear your sets. I see you playing. I see the videos. You are fucking side trance. So.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, like, I'd say to a lot of the up and comers that you got to keep it real. You got to try to stay true and genuine. And there was a period where a lot of people were trying to conform. And I don't know if it's me getting older or something, but I just don't seem to give a shit anymore. I'm like, the adulation and the praise and all of that egotistical stuff doesn't really mean shit now. Now it's more about pushing the sound to the masses the best that I can. And if I have to be the guy that's playing the music in order to get that music out and have people enjoy it and go off on the dance floor, well, I mean, as a label owner, there's no more validating feeling than having a dance floor go mad to a bunch of music that you're releasing. So it's like a double-edged sword, you know. It's like you want to test out new music, you want to prove that you're not an idiot and that your gut feel on the tunes that you've picked were the right choice. But again, at the same time, this is also why I've never really traveled and done the touring myself, because especially for the last decade, it was more focusing on the producers on the label. I never really thought I'd actually have to DJ Psytrance. I thought we had a pretty stable crew in 2006, 7, 8, 9 to like 2012. But during that entire period, we needed more of an army, so to speak, you know. We needed to be able to have a crew together to be able to back each other up on all of the lineups. So it's weird. I kind of became a DJ out of necessity to just compete with all the other labels that were releasing music and playing at all the parties at the time. And it extended to the international guys, because I think a lot of people forget that we debuted the first Copat track, the first Ignition track, before there was a Zinx. Yeah, there are things I forgot, but I won't forget that.
No, I have I have that also on mine. You know, people maybe doesn't know, and people maybe thinks it's just artists and people is releasing and labels is, but we are helping people in many ways to achieve kind of dreams. When I was a kid, I was dreaming about release on that label or make a collaboration with this artist or blah blah blah. I did it, but also on the time I did it, all these years through my labels. Okay, I have Dropland with my friend and partner Herman, and also I'm managing 3D Vision. And since I begin on this label kind of life, I had the chance to help a lot of people, to give the chance that there is a lot of good artists international that they are playing around. They have their first releases with us, or they have something. Not all them. Some of them, they are now on the home. No, everyone is on home now, sorry. But there are some, they are not playing anymore or what else, but there are some that are fucking pumping now, and they release with us, even different music or what else. It's like we are, well, our label Dropland, it begins with the idea to give a chance to new music. With the time, it becomes like a sub-label of 3D Vision, but before it was a bit more open. Anyway, we release all the music. Like Dropland is more open. We release chill out, dark, progressive. We just put that mark that should be fucking nice track, should be really good music, and I should like it. Let's say when I think about music, I'm thinking about in 20 years, 30 years, there will be a really fat guy somewhere in the corner of the wall with a radio of Psytrance. And I'm thinking about which fucking tracks he will play. I want my tracks, my label tracks, be one of that. So I never cared. But nowadays, I don't give a shit. Sorry to say it on that way, but I don't give a shit about how many tracks, how much I release every year. I don't care about any of this stuff because I just want to release good music. Not only my music, I take a lot of time. I'm maybe the slowest artist in the world. But for my label also, I took that. Let's say I have my ideas, my way to make the stuff. Then I have Herman, who is my partner, and XGen, Dropland, everything. And him also has a part, but we both learned from Christoph Absolute. And man, it was amazing. He never pushed an artist. He don't used to do it. Never. I didn't see it so much. Like, he was like, if track is not ready, take your time. If this is not perfect, we will not release it. If this is not good, it's not worth it to do the effort. So it's easy to understand. To me, it's not about quantity, it's about quality all the time. Like all the time. At least for me, there is a lot of ways to live, to deal with the label, to deal with your career, what else. But this is my path. And the people is around me or surrounding me or my family on this music stuff, they think similar to me or they have same goals. So in the end, we are a small family, but we work with this mindset like music is first. We are a family, we are friendship, friends, we are everything. But because music, in the end, we have the same idea of quality. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah. Man, we might not be able to like physically speak each other's languages, but music is one language. You can go to any part of the world and they understand music. And I mean, that's kind of probably what attracted me to it. I mean, especially now with the likes of social media, we're able to have conversations like this. We're able to send messages out to people. You can mail bands and record labels that you would never be able to. There was a hierarchy to get in touch with certain people, and
as
now
artists,
you can reach anybody at like
you can make collaborations with people from around the world. It's world is so small now. It's like it's really small. That's why we are doing that, because world is so small and there is people from around the world that few people are interested in what we have to say or what music we like or what else. And this is the main reason. So man, it's fucking amazing how we can use the technology on our side. And
it's totally that, man. I mean, it's a way to bring people together, and I mean, especially at a time like this. I mean, who would have thought that that we'd be having a conversation like basically at like over Easter weekend with you in Spain and me here in Cape Town? I mean, the world is in a weird place, man. But again, music is the one constant. That's the one thing we have that goes and runs through it. No matter how bad or how good things get, there's always a soundtrack in music to go out there with it. So I don't know. You guys are important. The producers, the bands, all of you guys. That it's good that this time comes up, so it motivates you guys. Not necessarily in doing live DJ mixes or a live mix to show that you're relevant, but work on new material. Work on the fact that when you come back into whether it's your summer season or our winter season or our upcoming summer season in September, the music is going to be top notch, up to date, new, current. I mean, and fresh. You know, I think the people when the dust settles, so to speak, after all this pandemic shit is done, I think people are going to really want to party. And I think it's up to the guys, the organizers, it's up to the producers, the DJs, all to fucking step up and really like give the people their money's worth. So it's going to be.
It will be 1 month party. 1 month party. You know, non-stop. Like, come on.
Yeah, dude,
they took 1 or 2 months of our life. They took 1 or 2 months of our life, this pandemic. So we need to recover it on party. Come on. No, but...
Oh, man, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it will be. But I want to say something about that. It's really nice that when this begins, like 1 month ago, there was few artists, not everyone. Now is everyone. To tell you the truth, now is fucking amazing. Everyone is making streamings. I see mapping, 3 GoPro, letters going back, everything like super sound, go-go's on the back. I see fucking everything. This cause they open it to play alone just to make a stream. Well, this is amazing and this is nice, but it looks that it will be our standard for the next month, 2 months. But at the very, very beginning, not only me, a lot of people was playing like, because it was so shitty situation outside. No one knows what we have to do, what it will happen. Man, it was this feeling about tomorrow we cannot wake up or something, you know. So, man, I just go down, I connect my phone, and I begin to play my live act, like no good quality of sound. Then the next week I do it better, but at the moment, like the first Saturday, they close the everything. Like we have a party planet, we cannot make it, and they close everything. You cannot go out to bars, to discos, to anything. I just go downstairs to I have a room where I can play and everything, and I put my phone there and I just begin to play. And not only me, a lot of people around the world, a lot of artists everywhere, even Asterix, for some days, like a lot of people was playing, no matter about quality, streaming was stopping, what else, but it was really nice. Like, instead of think about we was going to the sheet and we will not have work or what else, most of the people that are able or want to do it or have the place or the cables or what else to do it, we was doing the fucking same. We was trying to provide music to help the people to, I don't know, to forget a bit about what was happening outside. Man, I wasn't
that's
shocked.
That's it, man. That's it, dude. I mean, the world is in a pretty shitty place at the moment. And I mean, if there's a way for people to have their minds taken off how real and visceral everything is now, goddamn. I mean, and plus, I mean, I've seen some killer sets in the process. I've seen a lot of guys that are the epitome of what you would call a bedroom DJ, but I've seen some quality sets and heard some quality beats. You know that a lot of these producers, I'll give, I know we spoke about not name dropping people, but I'll give Rinkadink as an example. He put a mix up last night on YouTube, and it was obviously to facilitate the fact that he wasn't going to be playing any sets anytime soon. So he had all of this new killer music that he wanted to play over an hour. So people got treated to hearing a whole set of live badass music that you'd be having to pay 50 euro, 100 euro, 1,000 rand to 700 rand, like to see
But
in your country. So I mean, in a way, people are getting kind of spoiled, even with the likes of Vinny Vici and Asterix and whatnot, those guys playing. You're getting to hear these big top dogs playing, like, big beats. I mean, including even yourself. You guys even went and did that for the whole Dropland series. So it's like, it was cool. Got to hear like all the new beats from Xgen and like all the new stuff that you guys had coming out through the DJ. So it's killer, dude. Yeah, it's a way to go. I mean, here we are having a conversation on a Sunday night. It's like,
it's quite crazy.
The world is in a weird place, dude. Nothing makes sense anymore.
Man, if someone told me like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, like, you will have a conversation on a streaming with Lyle to talk about this and the quarantine, and say, what the fuck? No way. Why? But now it makes a bit more sense. I think it's quite important that people see this of the streamings is the same. I think everyone wants to show to the world that he is alive, that he is still happy, and he wants to come back to his life. Man, the biggest problem I see in all this about this coronavirus and everything is how many time will take to us to be again who we was before. It means, man, I don't want to change how I was. I antisocial totally. I'm out of the system. What else? But even like that, I feel how social I am, because I want to meet people. I want to hug people. I want to kiss people. I want to stay with people. I want to share joints. I want to, what else? But we all need people, and
social distancing. Social distancing. None of that. No hugging and kissing.
I understand. But
the only people that are laughing.
But just for the time is needed. People don't have to change his mind at all, because in the end, it's not good for us. We cannot go to this point of paranoia. We have to do the things right. I think it's my opinion. Okay, everyone can do what else they want, but in my opinion, we have to keep and follow the rules till it's needed, but not any day more, any minute more. It's like we are people that we go farther in our histories. We go because we work together, we do stuff together, joining each other, mixing each other, and there cannot be fear about meet someone, about be in the bed with someone, about kiss someone. This is, come on, it's fuck. What, I will need to meet new people with a card saying I'm free of this, I'm free of this. Come on. It's not like that. There will be a point we need to stop to think about that. It's fine, we do it now. Man, I'm on Spain, and lucky me, my village is really small, so there is no danger at all outside my home. There is some people dying and what else, but I'm not on Barcelona or Madrid. This is not the capital, but Spain is really fucked with that. Some days we arrive to almost 1,000 deaths in one day. And this is beating everyone in all status, social, monetary, what else? It doesn't matter, but especially to old people, which it means this is kicking a lot of people that have power and that have something is your boss, your landlord, what else? So it will remove everything from our society. No one is, come on, it's not time for conspiracy. It's just time to be positive and try to be healthy and try to be awake. But at the same time, you have to be careful. They are asking us to be like astronauts and be careful about what we do. All have to be perfect. And we are not trained about that. So that's why we need to be careful because it's not about us anymore.
Well, I mean, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's just you need to be a little bit more self-aware of what your habits are. If you're someone that touches your face, for example, you got to try to be more careful about that. The idea of social distancing will probably disappear over time once there's a vaccine that probably everybody will have to get or something like that. But regardless of the fact, we're going to probably be in a situation where people will just be a lot more self-conscious when it comes to certain things that could get you infected with any form of bacteria or any form of parasite or anything. So, I mean, we were briefly chatting about this last night about when we were over in Japan, both of us, on how self-aware the Japanese guys are when it comes to everything. I mean, you deal with the most packed metro rail trains and everybody's wearing masks, not because of the fact that they're worried they're going to get it. It's as a literal fact of to prevent them from, if they did have it, spreading it. They're doing it as a selfless act. Every time they grab the handle on the train line, they'll have a hand sanitizer spray afterwards. Every shop you go to, there's hand sanitizer available. It's like people just need to be self-aware that, there is a new bad thing out there that can literally infect everybody that doesn't take care of themselves. And in a place like South Africa, where we have a lot of impoverished rural settlements here, I mean, even the outtakes of water are hard things to come by. So trying to come up with the idea of not being in a close quarters around many other people, it just doesn't make sense for some people. But again, this is us being here in Africa, the different type of situation that we're dealing with compared to up in Europe, which is obviously Europe actually has it a lot worse than what we're having it down here at the moment. But again, our population count is way smaller than a country like Spain, or I was even given the example, South Africa is the same size as Tokyo. The same population count in Tokyo. So it's like, they're keeping it together with about the same numbers as us, and they're just one of the provinces in a really big country. So again, people just need to be self-aware. If they stay the fuck inside, don't go out unless you really, really have to. And when you do, really take precautions, then we'll hopefully be able to get through this, man, because it's like everybody wants to get back to gigging. I have a few people that said this is the longest time they've gone without a party or an outdoor festival in like 20 years. And I'm like, it is. It's a weird feeling.
That's it.
I literally came back from Japan. I literally came back the day before we had a national lockdown. And now they've just extended our lockdown that was supposed to end this week by another 14 days. So we've got another 21 days starting from today. It's mental.
Yeah,
it's
man.
mental, man. I don't even know.
Here they extended it for 15 days more. And maybe with that, it will be enough, but maybe not. So we don't know. Now we lost the control of our lives for some time. I hope we can recover it soon. But let me tell you something. Do you think the Tokyo Metro is the one it have more people? You never was on Mexico. Man, it's fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. It's the same, but without sanitizers or nothing. It's fucking huge. Mexico
It's just
Metro
about
is,
keeping like separate.
man, Metro in Mexico is crowded. There is some stations, wow, it's crazy. You need to check the videos. It's fucking amazing. It's like Japan, but without the hand sanitizers, okay? They are super nice. I love Mexicans, but it's not like that. But I want to make you a question, a real one. Is it true that in South Africa now, with this quarantine, there is no tobacco or alcohol? You cannot buy it. You crazy
No,
guys.
no,
You what?
dude,
They are ready for the
I
war?
got 5 boxes. Yeah, man, we're gonna have riots. I mean, I'm thinking about the old farmer who's sitting up in his farm by Port Elizabeth that might not have a tobacco farm at his disposal, and he's thinking, "Oh no way!" I've got buddies that are like freaking out. We've had a number of bottle stores that have been like recorded on camera getting broken into. You can't, if you put people into isolation, you can't take away some basic creature comforts. The ironic thing is actually that weed is still decriminalized here. So it's like you could hypothetically still like grow and like smoke
Yeah,
your
but
own weed
even
here, but you can't buy booze or cigarettes. It's the whole idea that the fact is that alcohol lowers your immune system, and this is a respiratory disease, so that's why they took tobacco out of it also. But to expect people to stop smoking and drinking cold turkey in a stressful situation, it's just plain goddamn selfish. It's like, and plus, I don't even know how the government. I mean, we can pretty much assume that the price of cigarettes and the sale of cigarettes is going to go through the roof when they eventually do open. I mean, let's presume this lockdown continues further, and I really hope it doesn't go further than the next 21 days here, but let's presume it goes into mid-May, June, when it goes into our winter here. People are going to flip out. I mean, it's bad enough that most of our businesses have taken a knock and have closed down and stuff, but now you're literally putting people into a situation, a family situation, couples, on your own, dealing with shit, and you can't have some basic God-given right. I don't
man,
know. It's a weird thing.
to me it doesn't make sense. Sorry to say, but to me it doesn't make
no,
sense.
it doesn't.
No, sorry to say. Here in Spain, one of the few shops they let open and they make open is the tobacco shops. And guess what? First week, people in Spain was buying rice, flour, pasta. Second week, they was buying chips and cookies, blah blah blah. Third week, everyone was buying alcohol, like big time. But since the beginning, our governors were sure that if we have to stay home, we have to be happy at home. It means you have to drink a beer, you have to smoke if you are a smoker. If you are an addict, as almost everyone is smoking or is drinking, you will have problems. Maybe you go crazy and you go out of your home just to get it, just to fight with your neighbor because you get pissed off because you don't have nothing to drink. It's fucking stupid. Come on. They already know it. On the jails, it's happening that. They stop the visits. What it means? No one is coming in. No sex, no drugs, no telephones, no nothing. Come on. There is riot inside the jails. It's normal. So
Dude, you can't. You can't be like, again, we're only 17 days into our national lockdown with essentially another 21 to go. I don't know. I mean, people have no choice. You can't do anything about it. We got military on the street. Not so much in the little town that I'm in Pinelands, but I know a lot of other more like urban type areas, a lot more city based, have a lot more military and stuff. But it's also because of the homeless factor, so they have to kind of curtail that and try to get all of those guys into, I want to say, like segregated areas, like tenting areas and stuff. It really is a clusterfuck at the moment here, man. I mean, I just hope people aren't being complacent. That's the thing. I mean, this is a global effort. Everybody needs to put their time in, where they all need to kind of, if they can, within their means, can't hold someone hold a gun to their head. They can't do what they need to do, but they bloody well go try. So I don't know. We gotta wait and see, man. I mean, again, like you say, it's good to live in hope, and we all know when the dust settles, people are going to be amped on partying. So, It's just got to kind of bounce back from this in a good way and give people a lot of fun, because I mean I know a lot of clubs and stuff are closed down also. It's not necessarily just the retail food industry that's taken a knock also. It's like, yeah, man, I don't know. We're going into a different time, Arnie. It's like I don't really know what the future holds, but
Well,
I'd like it.
I hope it comes back to the same, because in the end, money is what is ruling the world. So in the end, the best way to make money is leave us with our fake freedom, that we can go wherever we want, we can make holidays, we can go to cinemas, discos. So they will work really hard. What else is in charge? Who? I don't care. Illuminati politicians. What else? China. They will work for make us win money and spend money. So in the end, I hope everything it comes back to normal and we can enjoy our fake freedom. But at least it will be better than we have now, man. It's to me it's strange. It's cool here. I can go out with my dog because I have a dog. You can see it background here. But
right, there we go.
There is countries they don't allow the people to go out with their dogs. So what people is doing is opening the door and leaving the dog outside. That's it. So abandoned dogs. Man, I don't know. It's
horrible, man. That's horrible. I can't think of anything worse. I mean, I've often said I prefer animals to humans. Not disrespecting any of the humans out there, but like that type of treatment and stuff. It's just it breaks my heart. It's like it's.
Man, come on! I can watch any movie. Myself. I can watch any movie that thousands of people dying. I don't fucking care at all. Then I see I Am Legend or Hachiko or what else. You see a dog? Man, come on! It's like you fucked. It's like shit.
It's always one horror movie. It's always a damn horror movie when they kill a little dog. So, it's always it's like then you're like, oh shit, this is a scary movie. This shit got real now.
Yeah,
man.
So man.
Yeah, man. So again, they were even making up some bullshit here that you should try stay away from your animals because you could give them COVID-19. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. The hell, what the hell you told me not to be near my cat. Get the hell out of here. Anyway,
yeah.
So man, it's a weird time. But again, you're surrounded by quite a few other countries that are getting a lot worse and stuff. I mean, Italy is in shambles at the moment, so it's probably good that you're out of that little town. And I feel like I'm kind of semi-safe out here, at least until the real zombie apocalypse hits. It's the zombification.
Yeah, it's my time then. Then it's my time.
Yeah, I'm ready. Getting the balaclava out and shit. I'm like,
man, I have to tell you that here, I don't know how is the image and the situation on your country because I didn't check how many people is on the hospital or how it is. But here, it's quite scary to tell you the truth because it's like a silent war. Okay, everyone is on home, losing jobs and losing money and having problems.
Yep.
Streets are empty, and military are on the streets taking care and controlling everything. And hospitals are full of people. We are making big buildings to be hospitals. We are making hotels to be hospitals because we don't have enough. Like people is dying, but no one is shooting. There is no one to shoot. There is nothing to do. It's like, man, is that a silent war? It's like, what the fuck, It's a man.
It's kind of in a way it's kind of putting people against people because you've got the whole worry now, and it's kind of like if you have someone cough that's around you, you're gonna automatically think, oh, geez, are they
but,
like a
COVID
like patient or something? It's like we can't think like that. It's not gonna. It's not gonna work.
There are two sides. Here on my village, there is a lot of people is going to buy to the supermarkets and bringing the food to the old people, and there is people organizing. As man, on my home, my mother is here, and I'm organizing. I'm going out to buy, and instead she go out, and we do all that stuff like. there is a time to contribute and collaborate. Of course, you have to take care about the situation, but you don't have to think about your neighbor is your enemy or what else. Uh, there is a situation we need to understand. If you have contact with two persons more, uh, any of them can have the infection. So it's not the guilty of no one to have it. I think there is no guilties in that case. Even now, there is no guilties. There is no way to control it. Here, we don't have tests. We don't have right directions to do that. Don't do that. Or so there is no way really to avoid that, and there is no way to search this guy is guilty because this guy got infected. It's not like that. You have to be aware of what you do and responsible of yourself. But that's it. Man, even if you get infected here, what to do? I mean, I think their plan is everyone gets infected, but slowly because there is no solution for now. So what to do? We need to be careful with the old people we have on our countries. Spain have a lot of old people, so we are in a bit more danger than the rest. But it's nothing we can do. So it's not time to paranoia. It's time to keep positivity and think about this. Will
get to get and unify as like a as a worldly one family, one unified force against this invisible virus. Because again, we've been through the world's been through these crises in the past, and history has shown that it has brought people together. But yeah, listen, I'm actually having a look over here, and we actually have a question that's to both of us. So maybe you can kick it off. It's from Lev, asking, what's your favorite country to play in, and what makes those festivals different from each other? Yeah, I mean, well,
so
you first. I guess
you first. Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Well, I mean, I don't really have that. That's the thing. I have my local festivals that I've always kind of gravitated to because it was the festivals like Alien Safari and Vortex that got me into Sidetrods. I mean, they were essentially the two original organizations that brought it here in the mid '90s. So, I mean, that's always got a something close to my heart. But I'm still jonesing after my Japan trip. That's the problem, man. I mean, you and I were briefly talking about this yesterday, but the energy that the Japanese dance floor has and the appreciation they have for different types of music, but all within that little line of similarity, man, it was the most validating experience. If I ever had any doubts or wanting to get out of Sidetrods for good, hell, this Japan trip just got rid of any of that worry. I'm like, after talking to the Yabai guys and actually knowing that I'm indeed not crazy and there are other people on this planet like you and I all over the world that actually do like the music, it just shows to me, and I'm sure it would show to you and any other label guys that are watching this, it's the reason why we do this. There are those people, not everybody likes 2D, fruity, progressive, like bouncy, nothing against it. Everything has its time and place. And either with like the high tech of the forest and stuff. But it's good to know that there is still a slight, even though it's been knocked down by the Sidetrods Illuminati, it's good to know that Twilight and Nighttime Full On still has a place on the dance floors. People like it. I have not played a set recently where people haven't gone off, and going over and playing to probably one of the most pretentious crowds you can get with the Japanese dance floor, they just lapped it up, and I was just like, man. So I know you have fond memories from your trip with the Yabai guys also years ago to Japan.
Yeah, it was awesome. I have to say, I had the same feeling you had with this Japan, but it's not my favorite place. Sorry to say. Well, it's one of mine, but I have my heart divided. Okay, because if we are who we are, it's because Portugal. We love Portugal. Portugal people was really good with us and was helping a lot with our music.
Oh man,
they have the
no, in
fucking
fact, that
energy,
Portugal
you
is one
know?
of the few.
To me, it's the fucking capital of psytrance in Europe. It's a fucking small country at the side of Spain, okay? But on this country, there is tons of parties with good artists, festivals every week. Uh, any of that guys, man, they are a fucking psytrance expert. So they are super nice. And if you do it good, they come and tell you, you're worth it. It was good enough to make that right and to come to here. And when you don't do it good, they tell you, this time was not that good, eh? Blah, blah, blah. So, man, I love them. They are really good and they enjoy. They make outside parties even on winter. Like, they love party. They really love party. They have this energy. My country is really cool. Also, Japan was amazing, but I get in love more for the people than for the party. The party was amazing too. On Osaka, I had really enjoy. But I have Mexico, which is
I was just gonna say,
heart
I was just
place.
gonna say, you can't exclude Mexico. They
No,
love
no,
you there.
no.
I mean,
This is the point. This is the point. Let's say the place that I really, really love now is Mexico. Is I don't know. It's a strange. It took me time to love it, but now it have part of my heart there. And man, I cannot imagine if they don't open the planes or something. I need to go there. It's friends there. It's people I love there. Is I don't know. I love to be there, and also maybe people doesn't saw it on that way, but Mexico City is maybe the only place on the world that if you live there, you can see maybe 2,000 good psytrance artists every year. It's like all the artists of the world is going through there, not Brazil or what else, Mexico. They love all the kinds of psytrance, all them, dark, high tech, progressive. Yep. What else, man? It's one of the places it fulfills more to me. Like I believe a bit more on that music because that people really love it. It's like there are small parties, massive parties, family parties, all kinds of parties on small villages, on big villages. It's not like that on most of the countries. Most of the countries they have one or two areas where parties are, and rest of the country is nothing. Mexico, well, I almost play it in I don't know more than half of the country, and it's a huge country. Okay, it's a fucking huge country.
Party animals.
Let's say
that's awesome, and it's a big country. Also, that's the thing. It's a big country. You know, it's
man,
like
it's
the fact that
Mexico,
and the fact that they can have so many different styles there, and most of them don't even. Most of the organizations don't even affect each other. They just have their event, and then the other festival guy has his event. I mean, we kind of have that same dichotomy down here in South Africa. Well, we used to before it became a little bit more martial law with the new organizers just whipping their dicks out and having a party whenever they fucking feel. But for the most part, there used to be almost an annual meeting where everybody, all the organizers would get together and they would have a discussion what dates they wanted. And now it's kind of like it's more like a preordained idea. You know what dates Alien Safari and Vortex and Origin Festival and the organic festivals are. You know those dates now, and it's like God help anybody that kind of falls in line and tries to like jump in on that day because it's more the scene. It's big here in the sense that it's very compact and it's a very loyal following for the most part. I mean, every year there's a whole new bunch of kids that are coming into the scene. There's always new 18-year-olds that want to go. They've done everything under the sun. And now it's like, well, now you can go to an outdoor festival and pretty much just go mad within the limitations of keeping it together. And, you know, that's pretty much sparks every single year. That's why I think it gets a lot harder with our genre because obviously you and I are not spring chickens. And a lot of the producers in our social circles and in our crew are also around about the same age. So obviously the idea of the new upcoming like youngsters not knowing what a 30 plus year old guy who's on stage is, it's not their fault. That's why you always have to have the new young up and coming guys coming into the scene, like, and the new producers coming into it, which is also a thing that I give a lot of credit to Dropland because you guys do value debuting and showcasing new talent. I mean, you got to look into the future. We're not going to be doing this forever, but we can always be involved for as long as we can.
Well, but it's this about Dropland is a bit more easy to understand. It's just the people we are finding in our life trip. It means every time I go to play to somewhere, I meet people, and man, I don't see myself going to places again. As there was a time of my life I just was going there playing and coming back, but since some years ago I have some sickness and some problems and some stuff, so I changed my mind a lot. So now every time I'm going to play to places or to stay with people, I'm trying to meet new people, to connect, to hear what they are doing. I took the time. Before I wasn't doing it properly. Maybe I was too worried about, again, I need to arrive there and play there and do that. It's not anymore that rush to me, I fulfill some of my dreams, and the rest is not worthy enough. They will come at the time. I don't care. So we always have that idea that Dropland is not a super blasting label that is releasing the top, top, top. Of course, top artists they are releasing because they are our friends. So they help us. But they help us in order to put new music with them to release it to the world. So this was always our idea. It's completely opposite that 3D Vision. 3D Vision is that sound, super tight, super professional, that these artists are ready to do it. Now, this is something some of the people doesn't know yet, but we are making a small update on 3D Vision, and soon there will be people from other genres making remixes for us for some mythical tracks we have from Auto Signal, XGen, and uh, Brainwash, Theorem. We are asking to people is in our music, but then we are asking friends that they are really far from our music, progressive, maybe dark even. We are trying to bring their their way to see the music to our sound a bit. So they want them to remix it and to put some energy, new energy also on what people can hear when they hear 3D Vision music. But once again, we are not changing and we will not change. So it means 3D Vision will release always 3D Vision. That's why we are not releasing at all, because till nothing is ready and we don't have nothing good enough to release it, we are not in a rush. All the artists, more or less. Well, sorry. What?
Yeah, I was just gonna say you got a similar idea with 3D Vision as what Trick Records pretty much has. I mean, the idea that AD has, they just want to be a consistent label. They don't ever want to really deviate from what they've created, because what they've created is a unique sound that is truly them. And I think a lot of people kind of, I don't know if you ever got pushed this idea back in the day when everybody was going into the progressive side movement. A lot of people were saying, oh, you need to start releasing prog. You need to start putting this and that out. And for me, as a label owner that came in with the idea of putting music out that spoke to me, I always thought it would be kind of disingenuous to release a bunch of music, especially within such a small subgenre like psytrance, and releasing kind of the music that didn't really speak to me in the form of, what was big and popular. I mean, obviously, Twilight and Nighttime Full On, we had our days in the sunshine. There was a period of a good solid 6 or 7 years where that was pretty much the status quo of what nighttime and twilight hours of music would have been played. That's how it was. But yeah, I obviously now you try to find your place and you want to be like genuine and stay true to yourself, especially the fact that there's so few of us now as label owners within the nighttime full-on genre. I mean, it just, what message would it go and send out to the up-and-comers if we just ended up pandering to peer pressure by this invisible finger of these people saying, well, this is the sound that's popular. It's like, fuck you. Music is subjective. It's whatever you make of it. I mean, you don't have these limitations when it comes to like metal and whatnot. You go whatever the hell you want, and then people categorize you afterwards. This is what we were saying about the subgenre problem. It's like, because it's a great thing in a way that if there's a sound that you like, you can delve deeper in it by knowing the subgenre, but it's also stereotypes and generalities around the sounds is it kind of is the thing that just gnaws at me. I mean, you can't really compare the sound that 3D Vision, even though you guys have stayed genuine, everybody adapts and they evolve. I mean, even with the MMD artists, like if you listen to a guy like Rubik's Cube and whatnot, he does not sound the way he did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I would probably argue that even you guys don't, but you try to stay genuine. You try to have that little core element that was the thing that got you into it, and you just hold on to that, for all you can.
So, there is, come on, it's because I love that music, and my partner Herman also love it, and there is an explanation for all that. That we have imagine you are listening a label for a big part of your life. You are loving that music. You are loving that style. The artists are there, everything. And then you become a really good friend of the owner of this label. And then sometime after, he asks you for be DJ for this label. And then sometime after, he asks you to be artist of this label and also make a track together. And then sometime after, you go to play with him. And then sometime after, he tell you that he's not playing that much and he's not inside that much. So he will be happy if you continue with the label. Like me and Herman, it's like Christoph, Absolum, he give us like the K of the factory, let's say, like he trusts us enough to continue with what was his idea and his life status.
The legacy, man.
Yeah.
The lineage. I mean, 3D Vision has prestige. They're one of the few labels that managed to fight through the ruckus chaos of the mid-2000s. I mean, every big nighttime label, with the exception of probably Nexus Media, that's pretty much it. I mean, Fractal Records possibly, but I mean, 3D Vision, as far as a label that was releasing since the 90s, yeah, man. I mean, Tippled are the only other guys, and I mean, they've obviously complete day full on. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it must have been quite a burdening experience for yourself. I mean, it's a responsibility because of the fact of how much that label meant to you as a fan. It's like, take away the fact that you now can release like whoever you want. He's giving you that carte blanche, but the fact that you can actually keep that lineage, that fire that set, that fire that burnt under your ass when you were a kid on the dance floor, the fact that you can keep that brand, that thing going, must be quite a humbling experience, man. I mean, yeah, like,
to me,
it's quite a cross to bear.
It's more easy to understand. Is what I did for more than, I don't know, much more than a decade. It's my life. It means I don't need to think about how to do it or what do it. I love that music. I love another music. I'm just making now some music on another BPM for another project. What else? But still, like that, XGen and 3D Vision are my life motive. My main. I don't know. It's my project with Herman. Is one guy is like my brother, and I'm releasing on 3D Vision, which is the label of my dreams. And I don't care if it's small or big now. I don't care if they are booking me everywhere or just in some places. I'm still living what I dreamed, and I'm really happy to be able to do it and be here. Man, come on, it's on my fucking skin. Look, Droplan and 3D Vision. There is no way to change it. So it's me. That's it.
That is a literal tattoo, by the way, everybody. He actually has 3D Vision on his freaking arm. It's on there. It's there. So yeah, man, it's part of it. It's in your DNA. It's in your
So
bloodstream.
man, I don't feel that need to change. Even if I can get more fans or I can get, man, it's not like that to me. I love it. It's long time I don't do it because money. Of course I need money. Everyone needs money. We need to buy Logic, Ableton, synths, plugins. We need to eat and smoke and do what else. Everyone needs money on the world. But to me, is the smallest of the problems I have with music. I care more about when we will release, do that track, do this promo, do this, than for money. Even when I go to parties, it's not the main part of it. I need to enjoy, I need to be happy. It was a part of my life. Uh, to me, I was wrong. Maybe to other person, it is okay, but I was not enjoying it. Trust me, I was not enjoying it. Like, I was going to a place and I was more worried about which time I play or the plane is delayed or this or this or this than to be happy about going there. When I was a kid, I was dreaming about going to other countries to play. I was dreaming about to go to that party or play with that guy or stay on that place or people enjoy my music or I can show that or what else. And with the time, you begin to lose that sensation and that feeling that you are living a dream and you alone turn something is really cool and really amazing and is experience in something is not that cool and in something sometimes it's shit. Like, man, you are having a bad time on a place is a good time, it's a party. So even if the things is going wrong right now, I don't get the money, there is less people, blah blah blah, I don't fucking care. I understand it. I need to enjoy as I was a kid because that was pure what and since I have these health problems, it was the only way. It's like I need to be happy. I need to be calm, and this is the way to do it. It's like I need to enjoy. I need to enjoy the experience I have. I need to enjoy to go to other countries and be with that people, know that people, enjoy the party, even if it's only 5 persons or it's 5,000. I don't care. I will play same buttons. I will do same stuff. I will play same tracks. And not only me, Herman is doing the same. And we love that music. Even to make it, we wait till we are together to continue the tracks on the studio. We fix sometimes, we make some ideas, but like to work for real, like to continue the tracks, we need to be together because we enjoy making music. And man, it's not about money for us. I was on that running about be the famous one, play on that. That is not worthy for me. Maybe for other people, it's perfect, but to me it's not worthy. I'm sure there will be people enjoying my music if just they give me the chance to play on one place. People will dance and will shout as they do always. So I'm not wrong in any fucking point. It's about I do that. It's like I'm the Christmas dinner, you only do it on that day. So I'm that. Okay, I don't need to change. It's just I'm special, as everyone knows that music is.
Well, again, man, you're an important part of it. I mean, there's not a lot of us around there. Through yourself, like going through the pool of talent, it's pretty shallow at the moment when it comes to it. And again, I think people kind of get confused between nepotism, where you end up putting out tracks of familiar names, and the fact of actually just trying to elevate the level of the new producers that are coming up with it. I mean, like, the thing is, it's easier now to release than ever before. It's easier now to get your music out than ever before as a producer or a DJ. I mean, you've got every form of possibility, but the whole thing now with a label is that like I said, you got to stick to your ethos and stick to what you believe in, and everybody else has to follow suit. I mean, it's kind of like the WWE, like it's like you got Vince McMahon running the show, and everything works underneath him. You got 100 people all working underneath, but at the end of the day, you got to have a regimented single frame of mind of what to do. And again, you've obviously got like Herman as your as your partner for this. I have Lawrence, linguist, as mine. He's given me a lot of leeway just through us working together for so many years in order now to be able to almost me just putting my thoughts out there and running that idea through the label. That's been a humbling experience, because the whole time, whenever it comes to putting a release out, when it comes to listening to the final mix down before I send it to mastering or whatever, I'm always thinking, what would Lawrence think of the basic kick? Or what would he think of the gated snare or the hi-hat there? And I'm just like that type of nitpicking when it comes to the final end product. I think that's really, him as a business partner has probably been like one of the most invaluable things ever, because I always had the business sense, that was kind of the way we always worked with the label. He had the creative input and the connections in order to get us in there with the likes of Timecode and Nexus Media. They were all friends with him and his family, but I was always the business guy, so it was kind of like, to bring us all together kind of became like a good unit. But now, obviously, as life moves on, even the likes of guys like Christoph and stuff focusing more on real life objectives, Lawrence is doing the same thing. So it means a lot that he lets me run with my weird and wacky ideas, because goddamn, I've done some weird shit with the label in the last year.
Man, yeah, I want to know how many times you was thinking about do this metal sub label. Come on, it's fucking crazy. You do that, and after you do that, I see one cover and one release so, and then it comes like thousands of new releases and covers, and I will do that, and I sing with that. Man, it's like you was waiting all your fucking life to do that, and someone it gives you. It's like my dog when we go out, he's so nervous and wow, ready to. So you was the fucking same. It's like, wow, wow.
Man, it's such a weird thing with the metal, because obviously that's always been my passion. I got into psytrance by finding elements of psytrance that were kind of in the original industrial metal, the old Tortured Brain and the old Psy Chaos and Delta. All that stuff had very hard, gritty percussion.
I love it.
Really
I love it, man. I have the vinyl, Delta vinyl. I have all that.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly, man. It's some of the most important music. It's why we're still in it 20 odd years later. But that was the whole thing. I don't think I needed to go through a lot of different work experience. I mean, almost every real life day job that I've had has been within the music industry my whole life. I mean, I worked even on a publication that did an essay music industry directory, and I mean, through that I was able to like work with companies like Sony. Ended up, I was the floor manager. My first job was working at a CD store. So it's like, it's been ingrained in my DNA. But obviously, dealing with bands, dealing with a producer are two different things, because bands, they only have creative ideas. They need somebody to hone that idea and put it into a cohesive message. Whereas with a producer, you're aiming at getting the best final mix down before mastering. That's the simple obligation. Guys could be going through divorces. They could have had a trauma in the family, but you can still mix down your shit to 0.6 dB. But a band that goes and has bad stuff that goes on, suddenly now it's like a vocalist goes and he hammers it the night before, and they're meant to be in the studio or something the next day, and they charge it like, I don't know, 100 or 200 euro a day studio time, and he fucks it up. He can't get the lyrics out right, and they end up losing out money. And obviously, this is something I've been trying to avoid on a personal level with myself, but I don't think I would have had the patience or tolerance. Maybe tolerance isn't the right word, but I don't think I would have been as patient as what I am now had I not gone through all the shit I have running a side trans label and being involved in a more commercial label side also. So, I mean, it's crazy now because I feel like it's very full circle. It's like the young metalhead Lyle is meeting up with the old metalhead Lyle, and we're fusing into some new hybrid that can stay up for days on end because I go to trance parties. So it's a weird, I don't know. It's a great thing because also, just like when we started MMD, the metal bands that are on MMD Black are bands that I believe in. They are making killer music, just like, yeah, we got to set the tone. We got to get a little bit easier here on the tone. But yeah, the bands compared to the producers that we had back in the day, it's the same thing. We weren't given a chance. There was always a little bit of a club that we weren't included into, so we had to make our own destiny. So we're trying to do the same thing with the bands. It's just crazy now to think, as a young metalhead that grew up in like a little town like Komaki, now I'm literally like organizing distributors and like logistics managers in like France and Japan and stuff for bands. I mean, there's so much. I have so much hope for the future. I just hope I'm not wasting my time. But yeah, man, it's quite bipolar. It's the whole metal, and then side trance. It's like, I mean, granted, our covers for MMD have always been a little bit metal, even when we weren't releasing metal. But now that we actually are just putting that music out, and it's bouncing back like one metal release this week, a trance release next week, it's just like, yeah, it's really
Man,
quite odd.
it's quite nice because you look happy doing that, which is amazing. You are mixing both passions and having it together on a place. So I'm so happy. But then it comes the next question: how many t-shirts, metal t-shirts, you have?
Well, like what? How many t-shirts now?
How
Jeez,
many?
man.
How many?
I think like close to 120. If I include, I've got about 25 zip-up hoodies because that's always been my jacket of choice. And now I'm working on my long sleeve t-shirt 5. So yeah, I've got myself a cradle of filth here. So yeah, I don't know. I'm running out of space, to be honest. I better actually work on that. But most of the t-shirts all have a personal connection with me. It's obviously, as time goes on, people got out of CDs, but I always felt very passionate about supporting the bands that I love. It's the same thing with Psytrance. When the CDs were available of producers and of labels that I liked, I bought those albums. That's how it goes. It's kind of supposed to be the same idea with digital, but people are very shallow when it comes to that. But obviously now, years later, I kind of got out of collecting CDs. Number one, because all my CD racks are full and I don't know where to find a CD rack anymore. And the fact is, I know how much bands struggle. I know how hard it is. I mean, it's going to sound really shallow, and it'll probably pander to our egos a little bit, but we get paid so much better than a band. And we're one person, or in the case of you with XGen, a 2-man group, compared to a band that has to have €3,000 amps and $1,000 like guitars and all of this shit and stuff. And not to say that the gear and the equipment, the synths that you guys buy don't cost a lot of money, but for the amount of money that these bands get, it's compared to what a producer can get. And then you obviously get more popular genres of electronic music like electro house, which make our rates look like jokes. Like, it's like, but that's the thing. When you got a 4 or 5 member band, you kind of just want to, I don't know, I kind of just want these guys all to do well. And I really do believe in them. And I feel like with production and technology the way it is, we're able to kind of get a product now as far as a band that sounds on an international level. So I don't know. Time will tell, man. I mean, it's we're not even a year into this venture with the MMD Black and White. So, but all I know is that we got a lot of goddamn releases coming out all the time. I have to check an Excel document now. Like, what? What? Never thought of this. This was supposed to be like an extension of a hobby. A way for me to have like, hey, what do you do on the side? It's nothing you go and gloat to the public about. Like, yeah, I own an indie label that focuses on underground electronic music of a subgenre of a sub. No, nobody cares about that shit. But
you don't need to explain
again,
me.
it's a passion.
We are on the same page on that, so you don't need to explain me.
It's hard, man. It's hard because again, also for someone like you that has had to take control now of a very important label with a lot of lineage, like you say, the quality over quantity factor has to come into it. You want to obviously find some new producers that are on the level that you can say, okay, you are good enough to be a 3D vision producer, but you still, I don't know, even with the MMD artists, I've had producers that have tried to get onto my label for 10 years now. And it would always be like having to go back to Lawrence and what do you think? And he's like, just give him another one or two releases. And then obviously when Twilight kind of shit the bit, a few years ago. But yeah, that's the thing. But now I feel like with the pool of talent, like I said, being so shallow, you got to kind of, there's like a pecking order in order to get certain artists now. It's like, we've even been through this when I've tried to get an X-Gen track. It's like, it just does, the stars don't align. And it's like, it's not that you're being a dick. You're not trying to be like, oh, well, if you pay me some money, I'm going to do it. It's literally the fact that you have so few tracks that you feel are ready and good to go, that the few tracks that you have you would probably focus on putting them on the own label, 3D Vision, because again, that's kind of the point,
Yeah, it
It's
is.
like,
It is.
yeah,
It is. It's a shit because we don't make more tracks. If we have a bit more time and we make more tracks, it will be more easy to release outside. But we have 3D Vision and Dropland, and then we have the friends that already work with us, and then they ask us to, okay, I have this label or do that. So it's quite difficult because we are not releasing that much. To tell you the truth, is not so much releases, and also
well, a lot more.
our way to.
I mean, Dropland a lot more. I think Dropland a lot
because
more.
It's
releases.
musically open, and it's the place where people that I see, they have a kind of value, something promising on them. I want to release that, even if it's not the best track they can do, because I have this mindset. Okay, it doesn't make sense to make the best track ever if no one will hear it. So you have to do something good and try to release it. Good enough. It means a label have to say yes. A good label, if can be. It means there is a process. Since everyone, you can release your own music, you can do what else you want, and I'm sure you are right, because it's music, so it's about taste, and everyone have one. But when you go through a label, it's like you're going through these guidelines, these ideas, these things. So if someone from a label is saying you, maybe it's not ready, or maybe you should change that, or maybe it's too much on this part, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's this. To me, it's kind of a process, and there is few artists that they want to be on your label, so they follow that kind of process. And every time they show you a track, it's a bit better. And every time they show you a track, it's a bit more into the style that you think it will have a bigger place on your label. Because in the end, what people should understand is not only the artist's music. A label itself is putting the face with this artist. It means I say this to every artist is coming to the label, like, okay, if it's your first release, you should have a good cover, not a shitty cover. If it's your first release, you have a good master, not a shitty master. Because, man, everyone, even me, we have to put our discography, everything. If there is shitty labels and shitty covers and shitty releases, they will be there forever with us. So sometimes it's better to keep the calm and try to find a good place where your music at least will be treated professionally. Okay, you don't need the best promo or the best nothing. It's not about that. It's about love the music you're releasing in a way. And when you can't do it, it's not so good. It means label have a part on our releasing. It's not about label have to make the promo. In my idea, every label is different. Okay, I'm talking about me, Germán, and my family, which I'm working. We are friends working together. I'm not more important than them because I have the label or I'm running the label. They are friends of me and Germán. Amush, Auto Signal, Theorem, all the guys, all the DJs. We are a small family. Even on Dropland, there is few people I never meet, or they don't sleep on my home, or I sleep on their homes, or they are friends. Because to me, they arrive to that point because their music. But at the point they get into my life, into my label, I want them to be my family in a way, because it's the only way you can work with someone. Is people is thinking a label have to make the job you don't want to make, and it's not that. Label have to help you on your way, on your career. I'm always pushing my artists to release on other labels. Just show me the best tracks before, and I want to choose. But then rest, release it when you want.
Well,
Of course, come on.
I do kind of the same thing anyway, man. I mean, like, it's always nice to get first dibs on the good material, you know. Like, but again, you've earned your stripes. You know, it's nice that finally we're in a position where we don't have to necessarily go out and look for the music. A lot of the time, the music just comes to us, which is great because, again, I'm running two different sides of the label and you're running two different labels. It's like you don't have a lot of time to go online and do significant research. That's why it cuts down to your friends and your colleagues, the guys that you know, to give you suggestions. You know, like, I don't know. It's the hardest thing because it's more, for me, it's more about keeping the producers interested, because there's kind of a thing with the millennials now where it's like they get bored of something and then they get out of it in the next couple of years because it's given them everything that it can. Now, again, I've said this before.
What to do? It means it's okay if artists want to change, if labels want to change, it's okay, but I don't want to change. I don't need to change, and I don't know. I want to do it better every time. I want to do it a bit more tight on the place, like release what I have to release, do what I have to do, and do it right. But once again, I don't want to change. I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with the people I'm working. I'm happy with the place I am, and even I'm happy without having that success. Sorry to say, but I want that because at the beginning of our career, still we get the good years of the night full on and everything. Still, big names was doing that music, and everyone was a bit more like pushed by this music. So we get that part, and we was on that hype, and doesn't make sense. It means, man, I maybe that's why 3D Vision changed also, because I'm not absolute in any way. I'm a bit more homeless than him, and I'm a bit more outsider than him. So to me, sometimes it's much better.
I mean, Christoph is a man unto himself. I mean, we've often said that the original guys from 3D Vision, I mean, pretty much there isn't anybody really that's doing it proactively except for, like, essentially Sammy, like, out of them, and Talamasca. But I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Christoph, he always kind of had his. Christoph always kind of had his unique sound, even within the crew of 3D Vision. I mean, they all have that little line of similarity.
He's the best, and it's not because he's my friend. He's the best. He's the master. All us, any of the artists I know, it released with me, it released on my label. Man, the real reason we are doing that is because him. Then you can say other names, what else, but man, the fucking core of everything is the idea he have about the music. We was lucky enough, Herman and me, to share home. He was living here. We make music. What else? And it was amazing. It means it was we work with a lot of people, but what I can say about him, he spent a lot of time just finding the perfect sound. It doesn't mean the more complicated, the more blah blah blah. The most perfect and natural sound for everything, even a delay or box. What else on the track? Man, it was amazing to work with him and see the way he live and understand the music. So if I get that living with him and everyone is releasing around me, it gets infected by that. since the beginning, since while on TIP Records. It's like since he changed the sound. Before it was trance wave and it was amazing, but then I think it's like when this biblical stuff that they go to the desert and come back with the right stuff. So he do the same. It's like he split trance wave and then he come back with something that was completely different, but at the same time it was similar to everything. It have some techno and some full on it, and it have everything, but quite different. And man, I'm still playing around the world with this sound, with his tracks, my tracks, his tracks. What else? I'm still playing tracks of him from 2005 and things like that. So it still works in every fucking place. I'm going to play in festivals, clubs, birthdays. I don't care. And every time it works. It works. People shout.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. By the way, we have a couple of peeps saying hello. We got Mario, good old System Sequence in Mexico, saying hey bros.
Amigo Mario.
Joker says he loves us ladies because he's being funny. Joker, funny guy. Funny guy.
You can't imagine. You can't imagine how funny he is.
We've got Chad Janowski saying bullshit. He's been in Mexico 3 weeks now and he hasn't found a party.
It's the worst moment ever to go to Mexico. Come on. I think there is parts of Mexico they are also like you and they don't sell alcohol too. And man, Mexico they drink a lot, like Spain. I don't know your country, but Mexico and Spain we drink a lot. We love beer and wine and all this stuff. So, wow, it's not the best time now.
Well, yeah, man. Well, I mean, honestly, yeah, it definitely is a bucket list country. It's just, again, it's about the one thing that a lot of people kind of forget on how difficult this game is actually the networking. You actually really have to know people in order to kind of keep it going. And I mean, that extent, like not necessarily in your case, extends more to here in South Africa, where it's about knowing who the guys are and having a relatively decent relationship with them, which is probably why technically I might play a lot, but I don't actually play as much as it's kind of a quantity over quality type scenario, because it's like for every festival gig that I get excluded from, I somehow tend to get 2 club gigs on either weekend around it. So it's like, it looks like I'm really busy, and technically I am, but yeah, it's a it's a hard thing, because again, you're trying to stay with current with the sound, but you want to be genuine to yourself. So it's like, yeah, I will play a psychedelic foresty type set if required, but it's like, it's nice when guys just let me when guys take a chance on me and take a chance on what I've done and be like, oh, let me try out this guy. Let me see if Lyle can actually deliver and just play. Tell him what time slot he's playing and let him do a set. And I mean, a few organizers have given me that chance, and like so far, I'd like to think I haven't disappointed. I mean, like I've had this, obviously, this whole little changeover. Also, like yourself, the health. I stopped drinking 3 years ago, so it gave me a lot more like sense of self-worth and like a lot more self-awareness of myself. And like you were saying, on the respect for the industry and our part as performers at parties and what our obligation is. It's not about how mangled you can get at the party. It's about being able to put the best show on and playing the best of your ability given the situation at that time and place. And I mean,
maybe it's to tell you the truth, it's long time I didn't drink, and long time I didn't take hard drugs or nothing, but it's my way. It means that I know few artists and DJs that their way is go high and enjoy in this way, and there is some others then we don't need to do that, or we don't want to do that. To me, it was more about I was feeling that I was not giving enough respect when I was playing. It means I was not 100% sure that I was doing the stuff, I was doing it correctly, like best way I can, perfect, or what else. Because even if you do it right, you are not noticing at all. You know, it's like you are high. Come on, that means be high. So maybe you are thinking is you are blasting more
it's
than
not
you are
real.
blasting.
It's not real. Yeah, man. I mean, there was a period when, like, geez, man, in the mid 2000s when I was like going hard, it was pretty much like how drunk and wasted can you get and still function properly behind the decks? You know, just to give yourself a little bit of a challenge, because everybody was going at like 300 kilometers an hour. Everybody was like going so hard, and the music was so full force that it almost like you just needed to keep up, or you were gonna get like you were gonna fall behind. And I mean, it's weird on how we kind of got through that chaos that was going on, because yeah, man, a lot of our colleagues and a lot of our friends and stuff that were producers aren't doing it anymore. Yet we're still here, you know. We're still like fighting the good fight. And I don't even know what the fucking point of it is. It's like, well, who are you fighting? What are we fighting? It's like
Man,
we just think for our right to listen to good
I
fucking
think
music, and I know we're not alone.
I think it's long time. The few guys we are still doing that kind of music, we are not fighting with no one. We are fighting with ourselves. It means our only chance is to keep doing what we're doing because we love it. It's not about compete with no one. Now, maybe there was a time there was enough room to everyone to my label and this is what better and this is man. Nowadays, especially with the new blood of this music, even if we are not so much people, we have a really good connection between others. It's let's say Patrick Hallian is a good friend of me, and Stereo Panic, Eric, and I don't know, Brainwash, Amos, all the guys you can see on the compilations and on. Man, we have a really good relation. Don't mind about which label belongs or something like that. We are friends on a way. We meet on a party and we are happy to stay together and to have fun and we collaborate with each other and we have a good vibe, which is was not that common at the end of the golden age of night. Like everyone was splitting, leaving the boat, and we was the new blood coming. So the ones we are still here, we have a good relation. I have a good friendship with you, and you are from South Africa, MMD. I have a really good relation with Omar, Lysergic, with Chaos Crew, with almost everyone, with Fractal, with it's like, okay, every one of us is different. But even like that, we understand it's the fucking same boat. We can have
Yes.
one room, each one, but we are on the same boat. So it's no time to, we have to go together. Even if we don't go too far, we need to go together. So this is the way. So, man, to me, it's not about what you will do or how you will do it or blah blah blah. It's just wake up and do it. It's because we know how to do. The artists are making that music. They are really good, really talented, and they know what they do. They have their sound. They don't need to change. They don't need to do nothing. The labels we are releasing that we have the quality. We have good covers, good masters, good distribution, everything. We are not kids playing. Um, we have good DJs, professional people, people you are booking and they go to the party and they play good and they do good stuff and we have good stuff. Maybe it's not good as other musics and another stuff, but it's good enough to keep, to be there, to survive, to everyone can listen it on a party, will enjoy. Everyone buy a track, can enjoy it because it's well done and good enough. And as you said, it was selected by ourselves and is going through a process like it sounds good, it looks good, it's good track. So okay, maybe we are not the music that have more followers now, but I'm not here for that and I don't care that much about that. So the people love it, the people like it, and the people wants to join. Man, they are welcome and they have to be happy because you, me, and some of the artists we still active, we love them as they love us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's another label. Like, one of the reasons I actually wanted to go over to Japan is to be able to actually try speak to Yuji, which, is the dumbest idea ever because he speaks Zero.
I know.
Zero
I was there.
interest.
I was in your position before. I know that.
But the whole idea being is that I'm trying to get Yabai back into the release game, because I mean, if you recall the old manga Matsuri
Man,
compilations,
I'm playing it. Still, I'm playing it. Still,
some
I'm
of the
playing it
best
on all my
releases.
sets. Yeah, I'm still playing it on all
Yeah,
my
man.
sets. Always.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff, man. And so I'm hoping in time I'm going to be able to motivate them to get back into it, because they still have killer parties. And again, Japan's one of the few countries that actually still buy CDs. They're a weird country. They love supporting artists to the fullest extent of their ability. So they'll go to a yabai party and they will buy. If there's 500 people that go to that party, 250 to 350 people will buy an album if it's available at that party, from that party. And it's like, it's support that we used to have here. But obviously now that we're more digital and people just generally don't have that much money where we stay, that whole idea kind of went out the window. I guess that's another reason why I like metal, is that CDs are still
working.
CDs and merchandise, and that shit's still relevant, and people still go out and buy it because they still value the concept of holding the album in your hand and looking over the credits and looking in the artwork and looking at the tracks while the tracks are playing, reading the back of the book. And I don't know. We're old school, and we shouldn't be, and I shouldn't think like that, because we're in a time when you need to conserve the trees. Paper is bad, etc., etc. We're in the digital age, but fuck, I don't. That's why I buy so much merchandise, man. That's exactly full circle what I was saying now. Like what we were saying earlier, I buy merchandise because I can't buy CDs anymore. And by buying merchandise, it's a way for me to give back to the bands that I kind of love. And I think that's kind of, it's again some of the ethos that the Japanese culture kind of has like washed off on me, because I feel like, again, I came back to a lockdown. I literally did not have any time to get my head on straight. I haven't seen any friends. I haven't seen any of my family. I literally came back to a freaking shitstorm in government intervention. So, honestly, when I get out after this, I'm just trying to motivate all the bands and the producers and stuff, so that when this happens and the dust settles and this pandemic is lifted, and I do believe it will happen, I think we all owe it to ourselves as label owners to make sure that when things start to go, we've got our foot on the gas pedal, and we really bring out some full throttle proper quality beats. I mean, I know you've got your plans. I'm part of a few of the little groups that you have with your crew.
Thank you.
It's like, geez, okay. That's probably my motivation also, is because we know all the label guys know each other. It's like we know what each one of us are doing in terms of what our release schedule is for the year. So I always feel like it's not competition, but it's like friendly competition. It's like, okay, well, if 3D Vision or Extra's doing like a new EP or something coming out, then we better make sure that our release doesn't come out that same date type thing. And also it's like, shit, April now is looking like a badass month to them. What are we going to do for May? And it's kind of that whole mentality. And I mean, there used to be a lot more of us.
But, it was more difficult at the beginning. But yeah, you said something. It's really true that I remember at the very beginning, I spent a lot of hours searching for vinyls, because that you said, I love it, the covers and everything. So man, I spend my life, every time I go to a new city, I spend all the evening watching on shops and trying to be friend with the guy of the shop just to show me new releases. But digital rocks, man. Now we don't have to think more about sell CDs or things like that, because our worth is not music anymore. Our music is for play, but I think the our job now is go to play with our music, because there is a lot of artists, they are making music, they are not really, they cannot release it. There is a lot of artists that they are making remixes and edits and stuff that they will not release it ever. So it's everything what we are doing now is the thing is we have to go to play, and at the same time we want to release good stuff, but the releases is not what are giving you a career, a musical career. What are giving you a musical career is go there and do your best. So you need to know how to play and go to the places and do your stuff, and also keep people entertained with you, because in a way you have to show them you are making new music, you are involved with new stuff, you are collaborating with this guy, you are making a versus, or you are going to play on that place, or it's quite important. Since more than 10 years it completely changed, so
Yeah,
you can release a CD and it doesn't mean nothing.
yes, that's a harsh reality that we kind of just have to face in our genre. It's just with how progressive the industry is, you can put out a full 9, 10 track album that you spent a year, 2 years, maybe even 3 years working on, to like fine tuning, and within 3 months it's already been slotted under the shuffle because of 20,000 releases that have come out after it. It's hard. I mean, again, this is what I was saying about Trick Records. I love the idea, and the same thing with 3D Vision, and in a way with MMD, is that you just release the music that speaks to your label. If you're able to find the talent that you can go and get those resources from, then, you know, all the more power to you. But the idea being is that at this point in our careers and in the labels' careers, I'm pretty much sure people know generally the sound that we've got, you know, on each of them. So they know.
Of course.
We're in a time where you got all the tutorials, all those presets and everything almost available for you to make something to get someone like you or my interest, you know, and that's all they need. It doesn't take a lot to get my interest. If I hear something that I like, I'll make sure that I follow up with it. It's just, it's hard to sift through the piles of fecal matter of audio shit that you have to listen to sometimes to get to those diamonds, you know.
Yeah, I'm a bit more a pain in the ass than you, and man, I sometimes I make it too hard to people get me or listen to music. It's not about I don't want to listen it, but it's about I want to see some interest, and then they come, and trust me, I explain them like I'm going to release them, but I'm not promising them like gigs or what else, because they have to release because they want to release, not because they are expecting something. So I don't know. Well, I mean, it's complicated to explain, again, but
yes,
it's complicated to explain because I don't want to be an asshole. You know, I'm not an asshole. Trust me, but I want to see certain interest. As soon as I see someone is sending me something that he already sent it to more places, I'm not replying. Sorry to say, but I'm not replying. I let the others choose. But if someone come and try to reach me and try to talk with me and please listen that and blah blah blah, normally I listen it, and if they want it, normally I say, look, I will change that, or I don't like that, or you should work more, or I say them, man, you fucking rock, let me release you. So, but I want people make an effort, man. I always, all my life, I make an effort to be where I want, where I am. I do my label. I work a lot and hard on 3D Vision to get to the point I am. And everything on my life, I have to make my place. And with you or me, some artists it have it more easy because they have some help that I never had till we find Christoph. So to tell you the truth, we was completely lost. We begin making full-on morning music till we get told by a guy that it's supposed we was making a versus, and he released it with his name without our name. So we get really, really pissed off. And then we make a night track, and Christoph comes and tell us to finish that track. That track is High in Chicago, which is my favorite track since ever from XGen. So what I mean is we have that trip that we was not sure about what to do, which kind of music, how to show it, which stuff is the way to do it, how is the way to do it. We was really wrong on some stuff because we was believing that we was better than we was, or some things was important and wasn't important. In the end, it's so cool that people as you, me, or all the people is running labels nowadays, they are giving kind of help or guidance to people. It's not because we have the truth or we are someone important. It's because we already do that road, so we know how is the way and what can happen and what not. Then everyone have his own road. Maybe I say no to an artist, and this artist it becomes a blaster, and uh, I don't know. I don't care. It's about me. It's about my label and my way to see it. But I what I see is really important, and I appreciate that a lot. That someone do it to me, maybe too late in a way because we lost a lot of time. In the end, we change computer configuration. Now we go through PC for Mac, then from Cubase to Logic to we change everything. But then we have someone was helping us. So it's the same. I don't mind if you produce on Cubase or Logic or what else. But if you have people surrounding you, if you have enough help, if you have a group of friends, artists that are helping you to make collaborations, to send you presets, to help you with that. Hey, look what I learned. Hey, I'm coming to your home to make music. Hey, my friend is releasing here. Let's make a versus and or a remix, and we release it with him. And this kind of connections is what we are creating now. What is important now, to tell you the truth. Then all this it ends, and you go to play to a party or what else. But even that is kind of connections. So we should work and do all these connections. And it's not about your music. Your music is super important. What else music you do is super important, but have to come surrounded by some stuff, your image, your promo, your friends, your label, everything is surrounding you to be too stable enough to arrive to a place and say, it's this guy from this label. You know more or less what will happen and who he is, because all these people is surrounding him is making as a insurance, like, okay, that guy have to be good. Every time someone releases on your label and I never listen it, I press play because I want to hear what the fuck you choose.
Yeah, of course.
Because I trust on you.
You've got to take a chance.
Yeah.
Again, sometimes you have to take a chance on the new music. I mean, I get that the new generation might be a little bit more in tune with what is hip and happening. So, I mean, I guess that's where the evolution of a label comes, where you never stay the same sound. But yeah, again, like we said, I mean, if there's any artist that you kind of semi-like, you'll put the effort into making sure that they are kind of clued up enough. But then it comes down to whether or not they've got their heads on straight. Because again, this isn't just about getting onto a stage and fucking playing to a crowd. Yes, it is. That's kind of the end game, but it's about sharing your music with a large populace of people. I mean, it's a huge responsibility when you think about it in a festival sense, when you've got everybody probably on some form of narcotic. It's like you actually have to act as the soundtrack for their party. It's like that's why it's good for DJs and producers not to necessarily get up their own ass and think they're the shit, because all you are really is the soundtrack to people's experience or party, that's going on. So it's a tough one, man. But I think we're doing a good job with our labels. I mean, we both have a lot of new guys that are coming into the woodwork. I know there's a few guys that you're going to be releasing and stuff over the next couple of months and stuff. I think even Amash himself has some material that's coming out also. So it's good to see Joker getting back into it, because again, he's one of the guys.
I push him for years. I don't push him, okay? Let me explain you. But every time we meet, it's like, come on, Joker, where are the tracks? It's like that, okay? We have some stuff ready for 3D Vision and some stuff ready for Dropland. I think people will find it quite interesting. We have these finally to be released XGen remixed by Amush, which we give him files long ago, and he's playing it on the live act for long. Like every time I play with him, I hear the remix of my track done by him, blasting, super powerful, really nice. But he don't want to finish, so we never get it released. But now it looks like it's the time. It have a cover. He almost finished.
2020. And, we're all fucking locked up inside, and now he gets motivated. He's like, "Now I'm ready, Manu. Now the remixes are."
No, I have to say, it was before. Before that, Joka told me that, Manu, I will be ready, no problem. Before all this balagan is happening now, he told me to give me the tracks. And even that is not worse that we do. Our album, XGN album, what is coming next after Amush, we took 5 years. There is tracks there with Absolum, it's 5 years. There is tracks with Copad, maybe 6 years. These tracks with Romain.
You're sounding like Christoph already. You do realize that you sound exactly like Christoph. Last time he played like a live set here, he had like a new re-edit of Abracadabra. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. I'm like, well, but again, you know, it's a pretty crazy thing. So the new XGen album is going to become a reality, 2020, yeah?
Yeah, it should be. And sorry if we are going a bit more delayed, but Herman is stuck on Barcelona because he's also making online classes. He's a teacher on electronic music school.
Okay.
And I'm here on our home. So that's why I'm making the live acts alone and everything on these streamings, because he's not here. He's there. So that's why we are not finishing at all. He's doing some stuff on his home. I'm doing some stuff here. But we need to meet to finish all the tracks. Trust me, all the tracks are on a folder and are almost finished. Some of them are finished. But the ones are not, it's like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, are almost done. Man, they are fucking blasters. Theorem, Absolum,
well, I'm sure
Copat,
people are going to love to hear that.
Brainwash, Darth Riders. Really? Everything is on our album, because it's not, it says XGN, but it's not really XGN. It's XGN and friends, because it's our collaborations or the remixes we want to make for Outer Signal or Theorem, super old tracks that we really love.
Awesome, man. Yeah, man, I mean, those are all quality producers. I mean, they've all got a long history with you, and, like, obviously, like, a long history with... This will be a 3D Vision release, I imagine. I mean, with those names like Outer Signal and...
Of course.
Yeah, man, that's a long time coming for XGen, because, I mean, you've done countless compilations, countless mini EP compilations, and a lot of EPs yourself also. Is this your first full-length album?
Look,
actually, like,
we never trust on albums. We are digital. Since the beginning of our career, we was digital. So we believe more on EPs. Also, the artists we are releasing on our labels, I'm not asking them for albums. There's few albums we release, but I'm asking them for 2-3 good tracks, which it means you have more time between promotion. You release 2 or 3 now, 2 or 3 in 4 months, or what else. But in our case, it's even worse. Last year, we didn't release any track. Any track. Really. Man, we're still playing, like we play a lot of times in Portugal, a lot of times in Mexico, because it's not about we release new music. We already have people, music that people still love it. High in Chicago, Sharingan, Fear. People love that music, and still it's like coming, hey man, you will put the track. So we have tracks enough to keep playing even without releasing something new. And we have that album, it's on our live act. So people is listening it, even if it's not out. When it goes out, it will be for music lovers and DJs, to tell you the truth. But most of the people who enjoy, they come to see us playing. They come to see our broadcast, what else, and they hear that new tracks. So they know what's will going on, you know. There is some few tracks on the live act will not be on the album because are only live demos or something like that. But the rest, people already know most of the tracks. They just need to hear the rest of the track, because we just put 2 minutes on a live act or something like that. So they need to listen the full history, but they know there is a history there. They already see the trailer, you know.
Good point. Good point. I mean, man, yeah, it's a long time coming, though, man. I mean, it's it's definitely like something. I mean, trying to steer the ship, like it's quite like difficult. I mean, especially now during this quarantine period. I mean, do you feel like communicating with all the guys, like all the producers and stuff, like Zero and all of those guys, is a little bit easier now in this quarantine situation, or the fact that everyone's at home
Well,
now and they're at.
it's up to the person who talk because you named one that is quite difficult to reach, which is Zero. But then out of signal, we talk some days. Joka Emuj is more available. Come on, everyone have to be on home. But once again, there is people have a more dedicated life to music, and there is people that have another stuff in life. Like Zero have a family and stuff like that. Like I do not have. I have my dog. It's my only care in the world. You know, I some friends and maybe my mother. And my mother is helping me. I'm not helping my mother.
It's a
so
I think people forget. I think people forget how much of a pseudo life you. How it's almost like being a superhero. I compare it to people that would like, you basically go to work, you wear a tie and chinos and a suit and whatnot, and then you come home and it's like, okay, on with the psytrance or on with the metal. It's like it's hard to be able to balance a normal life and still try to be functional in a psytrance element, especially the parties themselves, where it's like you might have to be at work or something on Monday morning, like a lot of people have to do, and then it's like you can't leave a party at 3-4 in the afternoon. You'd be crazy. Like especially at our age, Jesus Christ, I'll be dying. So it's like I totally understand that. I guess we're at a time in our lives now where people have families and they've got careers, and it's like it's a different level of commitment. It's like I always felt that this is a hobby, but it's a hobby that is a big part of my life. I've never really questioned my motives for releasing the music that I release. I just do it. It's like an invisible push that I'm getting behind myself. It's like, just do this. It's like I've been running a lot on gut feel, especially again in the last 3 years. I'm just basically, without sounding too much like a hippie, I'm kind of just letting the universe guide me. And I hear a talent, or I hear like a new act, like Chaos Theory or Six Sigma, where I actually see they've just put a new mix out on SoundCloud the same time as our stream. Screw you, Ben. Screw you, Luan. Anyway, they're probably not gonna. If you guys are seeing this, but yeah, like taking a chance on new talent and having that work and having people actually buy the release and stream the release. Again, man, it's like that's the shit that will keep us going for years and years, because as long as there are newcomers or peeps that want to make our style of music, we just got to be the guys to try find them, and expose them to the world. It's like, again, you can only do so much as like the captain of the ship, so to speak. I mean, you guys are doing your own freaking album this year, so it's like, you're doing as much as you can as a producer, trying to lead by example. But it's, again, yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting time to see how the producers and all the bands and whatnot actually bounce back during this COVID-19. Again, like we went and we opted for a conversation as opposed to us doing a mix or something like that, because we wanted to shake it up. Everybody's kind of trying to do something to kind of show their worth online and show that they're still, relevant in the scene in a way. That's why we're getting all the mixes and stuff. But this conversation has been kind of more I don't know, it's been more a fun experience of like getting to know your side of the coin, because we're pretty much the same coin. It's just different countries like same bullshit, different countries, so to speak. So,
same goal. Not only same country, same goal. It's like we are more connected than we think. Even with these guys of Mexico, or everyone is making. Even the music is not related with us. It's more connected with us than we think. In these last years, instead of work with the people of my music, it was more easy to handle and to do it. That work with the people is not from my style of music, and I make good friendship with people is playing xenon music, dark music, and everything. And even it was more easy to me to work with them. And I always know that. But when you feel it on your own, you realize that we are all sharing same problems, same doubts to make music, same problems with the distributor, same problem with Beatport or with this or with this or with this other. We are all doing similar stuff, even if we think because we have 5 BPMs more or 5 BPMs less or we sound like that, we are so different than the rest. We are not. Uh, we don't have to forget that
it's all baseline, but it's all baseline in between kicks at the end of the day.
No, it's just
like the one genre
not only
music
that.
where all the
It's only music. It's only music. It's more easy than this. It's only music to dance and have fun. And people is forgetting that all the time. They think that it should be the best, this and this and this. It's not true. We make music, at least me, I want to make music to people dance and to people enjoy. Then if the other things comes like this track is a top 10 and it's blasting and da 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 and it's on the TV or it's important, okay, it's nice. But the real goal, because you sit on a chair to make some music with a DAW, or you buy some vinyls or CDs, or you download tracks to play, is to play music for people dance and enjoy and have a party. So rest is bullshit about genres and BPMs, and it's about fun. It's about have fun. It's a party. It means party. I want to be the best on the hour I play, but after me it should be another DJ who have to be the best on his hour, and then another DJ, and this have to be all the party, no matter which music or which BPM is. It have to be there people that is trust on them and trust on their music enough to go and play. So it's not about who is best and who is worst. It's just music, and we have to go there and play it for people have fun. It's for have fun. It's for people enjoy. It's fucking fiesta. We say in Spanish fiesta. That's it. If you have fiesta, it's fine. No matter if it's techno, it's trance, it's this or this. It's fiesta. So in the end, it's the chorus of everything.
Be you. It's just got to come from a place of honesty, man. I mean, whatever your genre is, and I think this is kind of the thing, because I have a lot of friends that are into other styles of music that I'm not into, but we're still friends and we can still have conversations and laugh about things. And I think that's kind of the whole point. It's kind of like you find the music that speaks to you and you run with it. And we're in a time where you shouldn't have to feel embarrassed about, especially if you're a producer, you should not have to feel like, well, this is music that's not going to get me booked at a festival or not going to get me any gigs. Music needs to come from within. So it's like, I don't understand it when guys kind of just start to make the music that they know that's what the scene wants, when the scene generally doesn't even know what the fuck it wants. So I don't really understand the whole idea, but I guess this is our point as label guys, is trying to help guide the guys in the right direction. Let them know that there is a place for them and that they're not crazy. Like, no, you can make music with 2 or 3 leads, and you can make a reverse sweep, and you can have loud gated snares. You're not crazy. It's been like there are other guys who are more successful than probably any of us have been, that have walked these roads before. So like, honestly, we came from the heyday of side trance. Now, I'm not saying that we're not in the heyday at the moment. I mean, I'd argue festivals are bigger now and more well attended now than they ever were. You know, they're huge, and the productions are bigger now than they ever were. The equipment, the gear, decor, all that shit. But it was also, it's almost like it's overcompensating for the fact that the music isn't necessarily all that it could be. So you got all this other glitz and glamour to kind of desensitize you to the fact that, yeah, but it's kind of just a couple of sounds and a hi-hat. And it's like, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Again, I'm trying not to badmouth other genres, but it's like, I badmouth metal genres in the past also. The guys know that I'm not affiliated with metalcore. You're never going to see MMD Black releasing a Bullet for My Valentine or a 30 Seconds to Mars. You're not going to. You're never going to see us. You're not going to see. You're not going to see us put an Imagine Dragons out. You're not. It's just not going to happen.
I have a remix from Imagine Dragons.
You'll see me put Dark Funeral or Cannibal Corpse out, but yeah, like that's the thing. We're underground. We're underground record labels, and I think as such we need to just be exactly that. It's like, again, I have a lot of respect for you guys and what you've done, and the fact that you stayed genuine. It motivates me to be a stubborn bastard and not change my ways, because God knows, like I said earlier in our conversation, I've had the peer pressure. Why don't you go release this style? Why don't you release that? It's like, it'd be disingenuous. It'd be like Marilyn Manson trying to sing a Britney Spears song, or Britney Spears trying to. No, Britney Spears would sing a Manson song. Scrap that idea. Terrible.
No, but man, it's mutual. Let's say, in a way, one of the things keep pushing us. We will do it anyway. Man, even if no one is making that music, I will keep doing that and playing that. Sorry to say, but
yes,
it's really helpful to see people as you or Chaos Crew or I don't know, all the rest of the labels. They keep releasing and they taking it seriously, and they trying to scout new artists and do new stuff. Because with me, sometimes it's not like that anymore. Let's say I'm one of the oldest labels and guys on the scene. So it's what I said, there is not so much people coming into my road, and there is a lot of old friends and people that they have their release with us, and that's it. It's not about we are going crazy trying to get new people. Now is the time of other labels to do that. We taking some, but not as we do it before. But even like that.
So, speaking about friends, we have a question here from Gail. Little cheeky question, going to put you on the spot here. Wow. What about those unfinished tracks with Romain, aka Smashed?
This is what I said.
Smashed?
Look, let me explain you something. On Next Gen album, there is with Smash, which is an ended track we never end. He leaves, so we are finishing it. Then we have a kind of we finish, Reddit, what else? Darth Rider's track, which it was so good, and most of people doesn't know that, but Romain Smash is on Ibiza and sometimes still open his computer and everything. He have a couple of tracks he never released it with Absolum, and I'm pushing him all the time to release it. So wish me luck. In some months I will go to meet him. So I hope I can get the release with me and we can make some. But anyway, before that,
are there any Smash tracks? Is there a Smashed remix or an X-Gen remix of Smashed on the upcoming album?
No. It's a collaboration. It's a collaboration. His name is Yeah. We have a demo on SoundCloud long time ago, but we finish it. Okay, it's like we make the track together till a certain point, but now he's not working that much anymore, so we finish it by ourselves. Maybe we release it as X-Gen Edit, or maybe we release it as it is, but they are our friends, so I don't think it's that problem. And then we have a track from Darth Riders, which is him with our super friend Vasco Copat. They have this super nice project, and we get a Logic project, I don't know how, and so we finish it, and it's on our album.
Logic.
But also,
I mean, you guys use Cubase. You use Cubase for most of your production? Or
no. It's long. At the very, very beginning, we was using Cubase. But nowadays, well, nowadays, no, for more than a decade, we are using Logic and Ableton. I really, really love Ableton, but our tracks was done in Logic. To tell you the truth, is to me is the one it sounds more properly, and well, I don't know. We was always, since Christoph guided us to make 3D Vision and all this stuff, we moved to Mac, we moved to Logic, and there's no comeback for us. So
yeah, and that's the end of the story. Yeah, man. Well, I mean, it's definitely, man. It's been a very interesting last decade. I won't lie, bringing us to where we are now, where pretty much every DJ, no matter how big or how small they are all pretty much in the exact same situation. We're all landlocked. We're all in isolation. We're all practicing social distancing. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, what do you think? What do you think the end result of all of this pandemic is going to be when the parties and the eventually life hopefully gets back to some form of normality? I mean, what do you see
will not be normal.
happening after
will not be normal. Think about the what the new rules they put now for our kind of contact on confination to the people is going to work or the people is using public transports. Is like leave the staff at 25%. It means if you go to a club, it can fit 1,000 persons. Maybe they will allow you to have 200 or 300 persons, which it means, I think for the next 6 months, almost a year, we will have these situations, but not on parties. Cinemas, restaurants, public transportation, everything will be like that. If they find a pill and we can take that pill and everyone go through that, it's fine. But if no, they will keep it on that way because it's the only way they can. I don't know. They can keep it controlled, so they will not allow us to make big parties for a long time. I don't know in the rest of the countries, but how it looks here and what politics talks here, they will let us be together really slowly. Like even if you meet people, doesn't have to be too much people, and the places will be not be crowd. So think about how you can bring expensive DJs or how you can make big promotions or stuff like that. If you know, even having a huge place, your maximum capacity. Imagine biggest clubs of the world, what many people can entry. 4,000 person, 3,000 person on a big club, biggest club. So 20, 30%. How many people is enough to bring like a huge lineup? I don't think so. It's like airplanes. Less people will fly on them, so flights will be expensive.
This is going to be very interesting. I mean, we've got obviously the mega festivals that look at pulling something up to 15 to 30,000 people. Some of them, we won't mention their names, but you know the ones I'm talking about. You think a lot of postponements are going to be seen in the future?
Most of them.
You think we're going to miss it? The question is, do you think I think the main question I'm putting you on the spot and asking, do you think we're going to have do you think we're going to have a European summer season in some sense?
Man, or even worse, I think I will have a Spanish season this year. I hope they let me fly to Mexico or to your country or to what else. But I'm scared about, and I think my year it will be Spain, maybe if I'm lucky, Portugal or Ibiza or France. But man, it will be few countries will open because even if we finish with this, there will be countries they begin the lock 1 month after or something like that. So if we are all connected, it will be a change. So they will not allow people to go to big festivals, like to fly from one corner to another of the world just to go to a party. They will make it so hard for some months till it's controlled or something. I think so. I hope it's not like that. I hope we can fly it again in 2 months and we can make parties. But what I see is biggest festivals, they straight move or to the end of this year, like September, October, November, or most of them, they go straight to the next year, summer next year, because anyone have a clue, man? I think everyone is lost with that. It's, man, this cannot be
It's been
a plan of no one. It's
it's
like everyone is fucked.
it's a
So
pretty intense. It's a pretty hectic situation, though. I mean, I won't lie. This is definitely one of the weirdest situations I think any people in our age bracket have ever had to experience. I mean, way worse than the 9/11 tragedy type effect. So I don't know, man. I'm hopeful. I mean, obviously, I really want the artists to start getting back out there. I mean, God, I got so much new music when I came back from Japan, and I'm like literally like just itching. But we got to just wait. Again, I guess yeah, kind of like should delve in with a little bit of punting and stuff. As far as like any releases and stuff on Dropland and 3D, besides from the what you mentioned with the X-Gen, I know there's a couple of other releases you kind of
yeah. Let
set
me.
out.
I wanted to explain you, but we change of conversation and then we stop. On 3D, there is also something we are preparing, like is one track from TRM is going to be remixed by few guys. They already have the files and they are remixing it. Some of them are new to the label and some of them are our normal artists. Then we have an old track from Brainwash. It will be on the same process. We are doing the same with one track of XGen, which is going to the same process. All them will include a remix. It's not night full on trance, okay? From a friend of ours or what else that have that. Then it's also, this is really, really new. Almost no one knows that. But Auto Signal and we was talking like last week. No, this week, sorry. And we have like a plan. He's going to give us one of his best tracks. I will show you soon which one is. And we will give him one of our favorite tracks. And we will remix each other. So it will be a release like XGen remixing Auto Signal and Auto Signal remixing XGen. And that's it. And also there is more plans. We have more plans with all people, but this I don't want to share it still.
I know you guys always should keep it nice and quiet until you slap it.
And then on Dropland, I have a couple of things quite interesting. We have a compilation named Drop Your Fears, which includes all kind of psytrance, but there is some good night full-on tracks like Brainwash, Concept Nemesis, Robbie versus Concept Nemesis. This one is new. No one knows about because we just included. Then
nice.
Yeah, man. I always save something, just in case, because it took me long, so I need to save something. People doesn't get like, it's something new. So we have that, and then we have Neurotic Cell is making kind of a compilation for us, a new compilation, which will include TKO, ET, Theorem, and some stuff more quite interesting. So we have a bit of everything.
Lots of again, I guess we just have to wait to see how this whole COVID-19 thing pans out. I mean, I was talking to a couple other label guys. They said they're not really interested in releasing music this around about now because of the fact that there might not be that pool of DJs or people that would actually buy it to justify putting the release out, which is kind of, I don't know, in my personal opinion, this is probably the most important time to have music. I mean, this is why we've got 1,000 DJ live streams going on any night of the week now. It's like people want a form of escapism. You don't want to have to be one of those elitist type producers where it's like, well, I'm only going to put my music out when the festivals start booking, because if I put an album out or an EP out now, when there's no foreseeable end to this pandemic, it's just going to be washed under the rug in a few months and it'll be forgotten. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on the idea?
I think a bit different than you.
Releases.
I think now it's time to make promo, but not to release at all. Okay, because I don't know in your country, but in my country, there is people that doesn't have any money now, or is losing his jobs, or it's not the time to buy a €3 track on Beatport, maybe. To everyone, I'm saying.
No, dude. So, it's never time to buy a €3 track here in South Africa.
Yeah, but sometimes you are more ready to do it. But nowadays, on the times we live, I'm not so sure. It's time to us to try to get out all the demos, all the sets, all the things we have.
Yeah.
Thinking about maybe in 1 month, couple of months, this will begins to be softer, and then it's time to release. But now, of course, should be people that can buy the tracks or what else, but I don't think it's fair enough. There is people really fighting for their life now and fighting just to get food because they get out of the job. They have to pay bills, the rent, everything. Maybe they will buy our tracks, but it's not the time. They can't now. So I'm not sure if it's the best time to do it. I'm not saying it's bad to do it now, but I'm saying on my mindset, I can't.
Oh well, man, like we have like fucking. I think we got the whole Afro Galactic discography coming out next week. So obviously, I'm sailing my ship a whole different way than you guys. But again, we also didn't know at the time when we had submitted all these releases that come the beginning of April that the world would have been a clusterfuck. We had no idea. I mean,
Man.
A lot of people, I think, forget on how much pre-planning it takes to put out an album. It's not a simple, oh, well, I want it out on this date. Yeah, sure, you want it out on this date, but how long is it going to take for you to submit it? How long is it going to take for the mastering, the artwork to be done? It's 6 weeks at least digital turnover time before any sites get reached. I mean, in the whole process of that, you've got those 6 weeks of intense, aggressive marketing that you've got to basically do, all for the hope of just getting somewhere within that top 10 of a Beatport chart. Which is like, and it's not like it even matters because I think a lot of people, they think they look at the chart, they're like, wow, number one on Beatport. Like, I'm going to tell you people that are watching this straight. That equals at most 100 singles or 100 purchases. And they don't even need to be waived. People can still actually buy MP3. I'm pulling up back some of the curtain because I think people need to know this. But your precious beloved Vinny Vicis and whatnots and the big guys that I'm just pigeonholing for the sake of it, it's a lot of glorification for not a lot of actual output if you really know what's going on. I mean, we've got the Chaos Theory EP that just debuted. It's literally Singularity and Cypharia. Now, people kind of generally know them, and I believe Cypharia is even a DJ with Dropline.
Man, he's a pumping one. He's pumping all the time. He's playing everywhere. He's releasing all the time. He's posting everywhere. Of course, he's hype now. And it's really good. He's new energy we have.
He's got his motivation. He's got his interest in the scene and stuff. It's just, the way I look at it, like nobody necessarily knew who Chaos Theory was, but they knew Singularity and Cypharia within our circle. So the fact that with very minimal promo or organic promotion, the fact that they actually are still within the top 30 on Beatport just within a few days of release, that's a good feeling, man. I mean, it doesn't happen often. I mean, when a release in our genre ends up getting anywhere inside the top 50, you tend to look at that as a victory because, again, there are a lot of releases coming out that all sound the exact same, and it's nice that people are not, that there's some people in the world that don't give it to the peer pressure and they buy the music that they like, and the music that they like just by chance is like our music, so
man,
I don't know, man. It's like I fucking love our fans. I love our supporters, the guys that have stuck it out with us through years and years and have continued to show us like the support and stuff. I know times are tough and people don't have money and stuff, but the fact that every now and again we'll have a little sale on Bandcamp and there'll be like 4 or 5 guys that will go buy a single, buy the new EP. It's a humbling thing. I mean, I know like every label is made to try turn over a profit. That's the end game. But again, like you say, that's not what drives you. Your motivation is more being a conduit to a sound of music that has affected your life in such an important way, and it affected my life. This is like, again, not trying to sound like a hippie, but it's like a calling. It's like, this is what we're meant to do. We're meant to be a thorn in the
Man,
side of the establishment.
It's your gasoline. It's your gas. It's the thing is making you move. The reason we are talking now, the reason you move to that country to play, the reason is this music. Is the will you have of release it or do it, or to tell you the truth, it's like the motor of everything. Like, if you love what you do, it's not a matter of money or time or how much you invest on or how many time. Trust me, most of the releases we are releasing is not like famous or they are getting huge amount of money. Most of them, they get into the top Beatport. People doesn't understand that at all. People think when we are happy to be on Beatport top, or when we are pushing and making promo to be on Beatport top, is because we want to be the number one, or it's more sales or something like that. And to tell you the truth, it's not like that. Since the beginning, I understand it's important, and with XGen we get number 2 on Beatport, number 3, with a lot of releases we get on the top. But the main reason to be on the top, the main reason to be on the top is not you sell more. It's more easy to other people to hear your music, because it's hundreds of tracks going out every week. But if your track, your music, your release, your label is there on that list, automatically your people, and not only your people that doesn't know your music, doesn't know how you sound, doesn't know nothing, they go through and they listen it. So there is a new chance to people understand, love, hear, or hate your music. Even if they hate it, I want to be there. They hate me, I don't fucking care, but I want to be there. I have it's worthy enough. Come on, I want to be there. I want people to hear me. That's why it's important to be there, and it's important to all the artists we are releasing to get into this kind of charts. It's not because they are best than someone and I get to 5 and you get to 3, or I get to 20. This doesn't matter, because it's about who is releasing at that time. If that week you have TIP, Nano, blah blah blah, you will not get the top. It's impossible, because they are much more time and they have more sales than you, or maybe they are much more famous and better promo, everything. But for us, we are indie labels, the small labels, to be there is important, and to get this exposure, it's even more important. And it's not about sales or about competition.
It's funny because it's like you say, it always feels like it's always a victory when any of the Twilight labels get onto the top 100. We're like, yeah, we did it. We got to number 65. And it's like, but it really is that, because it constantly shows that there is, in fact, a audience and there is a support base.
And it's worth enough to release it. Yeah. This is the point. It's worth enough. You said my music is old. You said my music is not now on the mood. You said blah, blah, blah. But then we release a track, we release an album, we release an EP, and it's there on the top. Alien, Stereo Panic, all the labels, Chaos Crew, your label, my label, this other label. More or less, every time we release, we get on there. Maybe it's not that much time that the other guys, because there is few sales, because not everyone is interested on this music. So as soon they get their tracks, we go down. Man, it's so difficult to stay there more than a couple of weeks. But once again, it deserves the time, because most of the people is going there and it's playing play to listen the 100. So if you are on the 10, cool. But even if you are on the 100, it's quite cool. It's a small victory. And it's not about sales or be better than no one. It's about, in a way, people, which is the most important stuff, is recognizing that what you are releasing is good enough to be there with the other kinds of music. So to me, it's the most important.
Man, that's all it's about, man. I mean, I really don't think we can do anything more as label owners and open up the door for the guys to walk through. I mean, it's like we push and we push, but I've always appreciated the fact that we've never shoved our shit down people's throats. We've always kind of just like, again, applying a bit of heavy metal mentality. We've always been the dark kids in the corner, like the gloomy, ominous figures, but that there's a certain type of charm to that. You're like, what is that all about? That seems kind of different and fun. And again, it's like, it's important, and speaking to you tonight has kind of just reaffirmed as to why I'm doing this, and why the scene is actually, even though the world is a big place, it's actually a lot smaller than we actually give it credit for. I mean, it's like, yeah, I hope that a lot of people will come out of this whole conversation that we have and hopefully look at it in a way that, they realize that we're not trying to necessarily go and poke holes in the industry, because I love this scene. It's given me so much in my life. I love everything about it. It's unfortunate that a lot of people I know have left, but this is life, this is how it pans out, like, we've been doing this a long time and people's priorities change, but I've always liked to think that there's been a couple of us that have always just been there, being consistent, doing our thing. And I mean, you're one of the guys. Since you got into a point with XGen where you were like, okay, now we need to take this seriously, you've never left. A lot of guys around us have left, and it's up to guys like you and me to go pull them in. You got to go to guys like Vasco and be like, come on, get with the Copat track, and I got to go pull a guy like Barry for a Frozen Ghost track or whatever. It's like guys, we're trying to be the motivators, but we're still, again, it's because I think we're passionate about it, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think a lot of people understand. Like, we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be having sleepless nights and staying up and dealing with all these other people we've never dealt with our whole life if we didn't care about what we were doing, what we were contributing. And I mean,
man, we crossed the wall for that. We crossed the wall for that. We put our money in front for that. We do a lot of stuff for that, because as I tell you,
I could save so much money.
After
I could save so much money if I didn't have to go to mastering and shit like that, and artwork and all of this type of stuff. Yeah, but again, we do it because we love it. And again, it's a bit different with you, because 3D vision is almost like a cross that you've had to bear. Like, I figured we'd play the Easter. We're going to pull the Jesus Easter metaphor across this. But again, you can tell with Dropland that is more a project of passion. That's more that's
totally.
more your fun little creative baby. Where 3D vision, you actually have almost had to force yourself to be that bad guy. You like, it's not an easy fix. It's like, I can tell you, I've tried my entire professional career running MMD to get an Absalom track or a CPU track. I was fine with a track from Christoph or Sammy, and I haven't gotten either one of them. So I think until I get a track from CPU or Absalom, I don't think MMD is going anywhere. I'm going to just keep releasing until one day. Yeah, I know. I'm going to wait a while.
Well, lucky you, CPU is still making music, so there is chance. CPU is still making music, so there is chance. Don't be negative. Come on.
Yeah,
he's blasting.
Man,
did you see? He's recovering all synthesizers and all the stuff from Japan. He's fixing it. And he have a super nice studio right now. I was talking with him some days ago.
Japan.
Wow.
Dude, when you live in Japan, you can just yo, man, it's so different. It's so freaking different. You know what I'm talking about. It's not like any other place on the planet. It is it's its own damn world. It's like a sci-fi planet. It's like, I don't know, like the level of social consciousness in that country is just, I mean, every country has its way of thinking, but my God, yeah. But yeah, Sammy, again, people like Christoph and people like Sammy, I've always been destined to be in a very intellectually sound area. Somebody like Christoph, like working a lot in Norway, and someone like Sammy working like Tokyo. I mean, you can't act like you're really surprised that that's how it worked out for them. It's like they're smart dudes. They're probably smarter than us because they got out of the scene when they needed to. They just play
Man,
when they
I don't
really.
know. As I tell you, everyone has his own path. Is everyone have he do his own road, and on my case, it's a bit
Yeah, it's
different.
true.
I'm more like the Highlander. You know this film? Just one can keep.
Yeah.
So I will be the one. I will be the one. So I don't fucking care. It's man. It's like that. I even having all that guys that work, that doesn't work, blah blah blah, is their choice. It's their life. Uh, there is a lot of artists they want to keep doing that music. There is a lot of DJs that keep playing that music, and there is a lot of people that keep love that music. So past is something that we have to be proud. It's something that we have to love. I love, man, these old tracks from Gerard, Last and Found, Digital Talk, CPU, Asak Syndrome, all ones, man. It was fucking amazing, and of course Christoph. And come on.
Well, I mean, that's what got it. That was the nail in the coffin as far as my commitment to the nighttime genre. It was like, obviously, we had South Africa has our prides and glories. We have the likes of Shifts and the Slugs and Artifacts and Rabdomels and Fixes and Brethrens and all the rest. We got our pedigree.
I know.
Artists.
I have all the CDs here.
Yeah.
I have all the CDs here, and guess what? My first CD. What was this Afro Galactic from Aryan Safari? My first South African CD was this one, man. It comes here to Barcelona, I don't know how, and I buy it on a shop. And now you are going to re-release it.
Literally re-releasing them. I mean, some of those Afro Galactic releases came out in 2002. It was like old times. I mean, and again, trying to tell a new generation party goer that might just have been born 2 years prior to that. It's like it's hard to explain to somebody that was born in 98 or 2000. Yeah, 2 years after you were born, this shit came out. Hey, how's this? But it's like, it's just the way it goes, man. I mean, it's...
Man, so it has a second chance. So it has a second chance.
I'm happy I feel very honored that we have the opportunity of continuing the lineage and showcasing this part of history that was so influential for people like me and people like Lawrence, to be able to re-release that for the new generation of party goers, because I know not a lot of the kids or a lot of the new party goers even knew shit about Afro Galactic. As far as the parties goes, they've always known Alien Safari as the brand because of the events, but they didn't really know about the sister company that came with it. So the fact that we were able to put them out, or are putting them out, and the likes of Vision Records and Microdot Records, these are important labels. These are labels that influenced me and got me into wanting to put music out. And at one point, we would have been arguing with Afro Galactic on what releases we were going to put out. We actually were supposed to put out the first Lost and Found track ever. And because I am not as cool as the Afro Galactic record owners, Carrot was like, oh, hell no, I'm going to go put my shit out on Afro Galactic, and then you can get the first multi-state track, which was him and Zatric.
I have the CD. I have the CD. So, I have the multi-state CD. Super good. Yeah, man.
Man, and again, obviously nobody would really know this part of history, but from a sentimental, personal point of view, to be able to put that music out where there's just little bits of history, a little bit of stories around some tracks and stuff, it's like, it makes me feel like I'm keeping the history of what made South Africa big, what made the South African nighttime scene popular. I'm helping revigorate that sound, even if it's just to a few people that are interested, but that's all we really care about. It's like, like I said, we opening up the door. We're not telling people get through here, come through here. We're just like, here's the doors open. You want to come through? Come through. So, you won't be disappointed. we have lovely, colorful music. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah. Otherwise, yeah, this has been a pretty damn fun conversation, man. I've enjoyed this. Hopefully, the guys watching. We've got a couple of salutes from Terence and Lix and your partner Herman. He logged on to say, he's like, says here, just had to stop in and say hello. And sorry, your video is lagging a little. Thank you, Herman. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for being so honest. It's everything we wanted.